Uncle Story Time. Story 1. Scary experience at my cousin's house. I've two older sisters, and we were younger. We were staying over at a cousin's home for around a month during our school vacation break. I was around 8 to 10 years old at the time, and my sisters in their late teens. The three of us were sharing a bed in the guest bedroom which did not have a working light. I slept in the middle, with my sisters on either side of the bed. My sister at the edge of the bed suddenly woke us up in the middle of the night. She was terrified. Let's call her Sister P. Sister A. And I woke up wondering why she was insisting that there was a spirit which walked past her and into the room. We did not really believe Sister P at first, and did not understand why she was so spooked. Sister A and I actually thought that it was some sort of joke at first. However, Sister P was adamant and just so terrified. It was midsummer, nights were very hot and sweaty. My sweat on my body suddenly turned ice cold. I felt the presence in the room, at the end of the end near a dresser. It was pure evil. I could feel it. I was so scared. I started talking to Sister P about it, and we both agreed. Sister A, who is the eldest and the least believing, also started feeling the same. I felt that it was a male presence, but a strong male. It felt stronger than a human male, something larger than human. I do not know what that spirit was, except that it was evil. We felt it so strongly, without seeing it. We also heard its footsteps in the room. It was the most scary encounter I have ever had. We found out those family members whom we stayed with were not the best people years on. They dabbled in the occult. I have no contact with them now, as it is my choice. I am a pure religious, God-fearing person, and although I believe firmly that no spirits can cause me actual harm, what scares me is the unknown. Why did that evil spirit come to us in that room that night like that? Why do we have these encounters and others don't? Please send your advice. Much appreciated. Regards to all who have encountered anything scary that now, even well in our adulthood, we can never forget about it. Story 2. Strange Visitors. It's been over 2 years since I last submitted an experience. Since then, so much has happened. Within a 3-month period, to the day, I lost my older sister, her husband, my brother-in-law, and my niece. All were natural, although very sudden deaths. Suffice it to say, it was an extremely emotional period. One early afternoon, shortly after this, on a clear sunny day, I was sitting watching a program on TV. I was totally alone, and I wasn't really paying attention, as I was still deep in mourning. As I sat there, I saw a tall man walk past my living room window. He was black from head to toe. As he slowly sauntered past, he turned to look at me, and I could clearly see his eyes, white and bright. It was only the window separating us. I was shocked. The first thought that came to mind was my gardener, but he was away. The next thought was an intruder. No, it couldn't be. If it were a person, he would have to open 2 gates to exit the property. The first gate is approximately 7 feet high and extremely heavy. Opening this gate makes a very loud, very distinctive sound, but there was no sound at all. This gate is directly next to the window I was looking through. There is no way it could be opened without me hearing it clearly. The second gate, also huge, leads to the street and was locked with a chain and heavy-duty lock. This is the only way out of the property, with absolutely no way of scaling the fence without serious injury. The minute I realized that there was no sound of the gates opening, I got up and walked from window to window to see where he had disappeared to. Our windows are big, so by walking through the house, I can see the entire back and front yard. He was nowhere to be found. I was a little nervous as crime is prevalent in South Africa, but after a few minutes, I realized that my dogs hadn't even barked. which was highly unusual. When I finally went and sat down again and thought about what I had seen, I realized that this man was dressed entirely in black, and his face and hands, can't remember seeing his hands, was just as black as his clothes. The only thing that stood out clearly was his white eyes looking straight at me. I wrote this off to my imagination, so didn't even mention it to my husband when he finally got home. Approximately 2 or 3 days later, my hubby and I were again in the living room, again in broad daylight. My hubby was sitting with his back to the window, facing my kitchen, and I was sitting facing him when he suddenly jumped up and said, "There's a strange woman in the kitchen." Well, there was nobody. He said he saw her walk toward the kitchen door, but there was no sound of the screen door opening or any sign of anyone on our property. Hubby later told me the woman looked totally real, but older, taller, and slimmer than me. It was then that I told him of the black man and raised the possibility of it being visitations, which really worried my hubby. He is a scaredy cat of note. So, with his blessing and pleading, I cleansed the house and placed quartz crystals in and around our home at the first possible opportunity. Since then, all has been very quiet. I find this entire situation extremely puzzling and have absolutely no explanation for what or who we saw.